name is Rick Farron. Jehovah's Witnesses are best known for their door-to-door proselytizing and their distribution of the Watchtower and Awake magazines. However, there is now trouble in the Jehovah's Witnesses' spiritual paradise. Let's take a look at this sign behind me. Jehovah's Witnesses, over 23,720 alleged child molesters on file at the Watchtower headquarters. Jehovah's Witnesses' clean, pure image is now being tarnished by numerous lawsuits due to the problems of child molestation within the Watchtower organization. Victims of child abuse are coming forward and exposing massive cover-ups in the organization. Demonstrations and protests are being organized and held around the world to bring these problems to the attention of the public. As reported on NBC, Dateline, CBS Eye on America, and many newspapers, there are indeed over 23,000 alleged child molesters on file at the world headquarters. To put it in perspective, what this means is 1 out of every 260 Jehovah's Witnesses is a child molester. Part of the reason for these cover-ups on child abuse is their strange teachings that crimes of this type must be witnessed by at least 2 other people to have any validation. Because this is highly unlikely, most of the accusations of child abuse are taken very lightly or swept under the rug. The usual scenario that takes place when accusation is made is that the accuser, or the parents in the case of a young child, are brought before a committee of at least 3 men in the congregation who then question the victim about the accusations being made. If the accused party is present, he or she will be asked if they are guilty of the accusations. If the answer is no, then it is suggested to just let it go. To further add to this horrendous problem, one should be outraged at what was written in the January 1st, 1997 Watchtower, page 27. This Watchtower right here, "Let us abhor what is wicked." And under the small heading here, "What of a child molester?" it's written, "If he seems to be repentant, he will be encouraged to make spiritual progress, share in the field service," that is going house to house, "and even have parts in the theocratic ministry school and non-teaching parts in the service meeting." So according to their own publication, known pedophiles are encouraged to continue going house to house in neighborhoods all over the world without the public's being aware of the accusations that were brought against them. In the spring of 2002, insiders at the headquarters of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, located in Paterson, New York, provided information concerning a computer database of 23,720 child molesters on file there. The files labeled as the Special Shepherding Arrangement is a front for reporting child molesters to the Home Office. Paterson, New York is the location for the service and the legal departments of the Watchtower, now calling itself the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses of New York. And it is in these 2 departments where these highly confidential files are kept. As reported in the Concord, New Hampshire Monitor on November 22, 2004, Sarah Poison suspected her husband, a ministerial servant at the time, was abusing their daughters 21 years ago. She took her fears to the elders in her congregation in Wilton, New Hampshire. Sarah Poison regrets that she obeyed the elders' advice. Pray more, be a better wife, and keep quiet. In 2002, the U.S. Catholic bishops publicly promised that the church would never ask for gag orders when compensating their abuse survivors. 5 years later, the Jehovah's Witnesses, they do just the reverse. Here's your money, but remain silent. Jehovah's Witnesses keep putting innocent kids and unsuspecting families at risk of horrible crimes because they value their secrecy and their reputations more than they value their children's safety. The Watchtower organization has attacked and has ousted members of conscience who have spoken out to protect kids. Because of the Watchtower organization's policies on hiding and covering up child molesters, extreme caution should be used in allowing your children to participate in the activities of Jehovah's Witnesses. We are convinced that it is vital that all concerned parents supervise and carefully watch their children at all times. Wise Jehovah's Witness parents should be very selective in allowing their innocent children to participate in sleepovers. Because of known pedophiles participating in the door-to-door work, vigilant, loving parents would thoroughly examine who their children are working with. This advice should take on special force and meaning at large assemblies and conventions. Such open, crowded forums become a haven for child predators. In May 2007, the public is exposed to direct evidence that the Jehovah's Witnesses have a big problem with child sex abuse. Numerous newspapers, as well as some television coverage, made it clear that over a 5-day period in February 2007, 16 child sex abuse lawsuits against the Watchtower were settled in 3 states, California, Texas, and Oregon. This is the largest ever settlement in the Jehovah's Witness history. Allegedly, it could be in the millions of dollars. Most Jehovah's Witnesses are unaware that this is all going on. It's as though an invisible fence is between them and what is really going on behind the curtains of the Watchtower. As recorded in one of these lawsuits in San Diego, case number G1E 034558, on page 4 of the lawsuit, paragraph 17. I wanted to read something to you that you might find rather interesting. The Watchtower defendants undertook the responsibility to instruct their elders as to what to do when they received allegations of child sexual abuse. They promulgated policies and rules directing the elders to call the Watchtower defendants, the legal department, for direction about whether to report allegations of sexual abuse to police and law enforcement. The policies were designed to prevent cooperation with, if not frustrate, secular investigations. Elders were sometimes instructed to make anonymous calls from telephone booths so that law enforcement authorities would be unable to contact them for more information. I have before me copied court records on the 16 lawsuits recently settled by the Watchtower. Now, there were 16 lawsuits, and let me give you where they came from and where it was settled. Porter County, Texas, on February 15th, 07. Marion City, Oregon. Napa City, California. There were 2 victims in this lawsuit. Napa, California. Placer County, California. Yolo, California. There was 3 victims in this particular lawsuit, and that was settled on 3/2/07. San Diego, California. There were 4 victims in this lawsuit, and Tehama, California, 3 victims. All of those were settled by the Watchtower. So why did the Watchtower settle these lawsuits? Last fall, 2006, a California court ruling would have required Watchtower to open their pedophile database. To prevent this information from becoming public, church officials chose to settle these 16 cases. They do not want anyone to know how much damaging information the database